Hello friends and welcome back to the James Lawrence Allcott channel. But impromptu one here, I thought I might as well do it because I was watching the Arsenal game and I was just intrigued because it was a real test for Arsenal, a real test for them. And as you know guys, I did a video earlier in the week and I was umming and ahhing, and I've done one that will go out tomorrow. Make sure you check it out. It's about the relegation battle. And again, with all these things, you've got to kind of guess a little bit. And when I was kind of thinking who could get top four, and of course it's a long way to go, all of the teams have got strengths and weaknesses. And Wolves' strengths are their defence and their ability to manage games. And Arsenal's weaknesses and strengths were kind of shown in this game. The reason I went with Arsenal in that video is because I think togetherness still matters. You know, in a league where there's so much money, it's almost like there's so much money that it's kind of gone too far, and to a point, there's only so much you can pay for certain players. So actually, it does still come down to that extra inch that you can get from people, that extra 5%. And I'll watch Arsenal and I was just had a quick look at the stats as well. Look, they are playing at home, so it's going to be one of those games where they should kind of be the guys who push it. But they made a mistake, but they stuck together, didn't they? And the weakness of Arsenal, which I talk about in that video, is the fact that they don't have that physical threat up top. They don't have that Vlahovic guy. If they had Vlahovic in this game, they could have put some crosses in, and they've got players who can put in those crosses. But they got someone like Lacazette, who's a funny one because he's sort of like trotting about, trying his best, obviously, and he's clearly a bit of a leader. He's clearly liked. He clearly works hard, but he's clearly not the player that's going to get them to win the Champions League or, you know, to get into the top three of the league. But what I sort of saw from it, and when I look at the stats, I think it says a lot. You know, 26 shots Arsenal had, but only 5 shots on target. And again, it kind of highlights how Wolves like to defend, where they just get bodies in the way. A little bit like Burnley, but probably a bit more structure. And if they were happy for them to put crosses into the box, there were only 18 crosses, 5 of them that worked out for them. And importantly here, 20 shots inside the box, but only 5 on target. So what that says to me is that Arsenal are going to have to show a different kind of bravery if they're going to get there. And they have to play and play and play and play. But I think if you're an Arsenal fan, I think you've got to be buzzing with that anyway, because it's you're 1-0 down, you win 2-1. And yeah, you get that little bit of luck, but sometimes you deserve that little bit of luck. And I've got to say that Arsenal team now, I think you can see what Arteta was doing all along. Arteta he knew I'd rather have too few players than the wrong kind. That was what he was about. That's what he is about. And even someone like Nketiah, who, you know, he might be fed up and he wants to go to another club because he wants to be the main man somewhere, which is all absolutely fine to have that kind of ambition. You still know he's going to work hard. You still know he's going to put a shift in. And I was just really impressed with Arsenal. You know, it's easy for me to say all this because they've got the victory, and you can pick it apart and go, have they got the bodies for this? You know, have they got enough talent, enough depth? Again, all the problems that we highlighted in that video. But I think, look, Arsenal fans must be... Let me know in the comments how you feel about this, because, yeah, I just wanted to kind of say what I saw. You know, often I kind of talk about the stats a hell of a lot. But I think in that, what I was just the most impressed with was that they kept going and didn't lose patience. They believed that they were going to kind of stick at it. For Wolves, obviously, there's a bit of a heartbreaker there. I thought Nouri was really impressive. Hwang had a couple of really good chances, one right at the start of the second half, which could have made a massive difference. And understandably, they looked to defend what they had. So that makes the stats a little bit misleading as well. And Wolves still have some really good games to come up with. And they would have taken a draw, I think. And they would have got out there with the draw. They would have been pretty happy with themselves. But I just keep going back to Arsenal with this one, where... Of all the teams that are there, I think Wolves are obviously very together. But in terms of talent and togetherness, I think Arsenal have got a lot going for them. You know, Man United, there have been so many problems with them. Spurs, you know, I think there's another video on the channel about Antonio Conte, which I think expresses how I feel about where Spurs are at in terms of that. And I still, maybe it's romantic, maybe it's naive, maybe it won't play out the way that I'd like it to. But I want there to still be... for that to be necessary. I think you saw that, you saw that with the Rangers Borussia Dortmund game as well. They've got no right to do what they've just done. It's absolutely fantastic. But this is what I think. I think I've drifted towards an element of apathy with football. And I think what really I love are these months of the season, because you do keep coming back to, oh, okay, this is a competition, this is sport, we love competing, we love winning. And when it gets closer to the moments where you're going to go out or you could achieve something, it's really, really special. And so that mix that Arsenal have got, I see an element of like the QPR team where really they shouldn't be getting top four. Like really QPR shouldn't be going up this year, but they're going to give it a bloody good go. And I kind of like that about Arsenal. And it's amazing, isn't it? We haven't said that about Arsenal, where there's an element where they are the underdogs here. Like, obviously, they're a huge club, but they are the underdogs. And I bet Arsenal fans are enjoying that a little bit. That lowered expectation it's nice. Do you know what I mean? And then you can enjoy the romance of it a little bit and the idea of exceeding expectations, because that's what it's all about. And, the way they celebrated there, Wolves fans, after the victory a couple of weeks ago, I think Ruben Neves said it, they were celebrating like they won the title. I think that's fair. These games are tough and these games matter, and Wolves are a rival now, if you want to admit it or not. And you should be celebrating games like that, especially at home when you're 1-0 down and you bring it back and get to 2-1. I thought the substitutions were really good as well. Pepe obviously made a huge difference. Got his goal as well. And I think that's the other thing I quite like, is that I feel like they all know their roles. Do you know what I mean? It all makes sense where everyone is. And that's another thing, actually, as well. You look at Spurs, look at Man United, and look at, say, Man United and someone like Alanga. Alanga feels empowered right now. And to sort of create an environment where you feel that way is smart management, right? That's not happening at Spurs. And in this Arsenal team, yes, you've got young people. Yes, you've got inexperienced people. But you've got people that feel empowered and feel important. Lacazette, the experienced guys, Xhaka and Lacazette, feel important there. But then you've got really talented players who feel empowered as well. The two centre-backs who maybe don't have that element of leadership and experience like a Connor Cody does. And Gabriel did make a mistake today, but I think overall he's been really, really good this season. Again, they feel part of it. And I just think that was worth noting, because, when you lose Ozil or all these guys and we get bogged down in all the money of everything, you forget what it's about. And it's about a lot of stuff that you can't see, but you can often feel. And, yeah, Martinelli on the left, Saka on the right. What was the average age? The average age is 25.5. It's a young team. They're talking about a captain next year being Martin Odegaard. Obviously a young guy. But a young guy who's now got to a place where he's important. And I just think that could take them really far. There's going to be moments where it's going to tense up a little bit, but you're also going to have players who are going to step up in those moments, like you saw tonight. Interesting. Very, very interesting. We will see how it plays out. Of course, so many games still to play. And there were moments in that game where I was a bit like, why have I gone with Arsenal? Because, deep down, the quality is at Man United. And Man United should be getting fourth spot. But Arsenal might. And it will be massively down to Arteta, and I hope that doesn't get forgotten, because he's made some brave calls by getting rid of these superstars and bringing in the right kind. And I think that's what they've got there. Can they deal with expectation next year if they get into the top four? That's another kettle of fish. And then there would need to be a different kind of strengthening in the transfer window in the summer. Again, it's going to have to be some strikers, but they're paving the way for that. And so, yeah, I think they deserve huge plaudits today. It all is in a nice little bow because they've come back and beaten Wolves. But regardless of it, I would have said the same thing, really. I think they've done themselves justice this season. And they've given themselves a real fighting chance with that victory. Unbelievable stuff. Anyway, just a quick chat, really, me to you. If you're an Arsenal fan, let me know how you're feeling. If you're a Wolves fan, let me know how you're feeling as well. Because it's not over for you. Absolutely not. You just got to sort of hang in there and keep winning games and enjoying it as well. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. I'd massively appreciate it. Hit the like button as well. And make sure you don't miss out the video tomorrow. We're talking about the relegation battle. See you there.